Here we are back to work with the Magna, and carbs are ready to go in. We're going to cross our fingers and hope that I assembled them correctly and all the seals that I put in are good to go, because once I get them back in here, they're going to be a pain to take back out and rip apart again and do, basically start all over. So, what we're going to do is I waited for the mail to come, and I do have a brand new choke cable because our choke cable was frozen. So I waited to pull this out just so I knew where it went, and had to cut off some zip ties. There were 3 zip ties holding them together. I don't know if that's factory, probably just somebody else did it. So they're gonna go here and down in here. They were holding them together. Then the choke cable runs in behind and right up on top of the carbs, obviously. So we'll pull that out. I'm going to unpack this one, make sure it is correct, and if not, we can still put the carbs in. It seems rather long. I hope it's not. Yeah, I hope it's okay. Second step is I pulled all the boots off, and what we're going to do is I angled them upwards. So these bottom ones would normally be sitting, you can see, straight on like this. So we take these off, loosen them up, and angle them up. And then the back ones, I have to leave this off till I put the carbs in there. The back ones we kind of angle up also. So when the carbs go in, we can set them straight down in and then give them a good shove, and it'll slide down on these, on the ports, on the engine. Now, there's a little bit of oil. I guess I should do the bottoms too, just so they slide on really, really easy. But I put a little bit of oil so that everything slides right in together. And then we can tighten it all up, attach the throttle, attach the new choke cable, and then we should be good to go. Now we'll probably do a sync on the synchronization, just because that hasn't been done. And I need to make sure that this line, I'll use this, but it has to make a turn, so hopefully it doesn't kink. I might have to use some stronger tubing there. And also, I replaced the tube back here. Where is it? Right here. And this is quite a strong turn too, so I'm not sure I like that either. If that's kinking up the gas, I do not want that to stay like that. There's nothing I can do because it comes out straight and turns. So I'm just gonna have to get a different fuel line for that if it does restrict fuel flow. So that should be about what we need to do with this guy. And cross our fingers, hope everything's good. I'm gonna pull this choke cable out and match it up to the new one. Okay, now we have the carbs in the bike. I have the new choke cable hooked up to the carburetor. I have the throttle hooked up to the carburetor. That's always a pain in the butt, but you can see the lines are hooked up. Now, all the boots are a little bit crooked here. This one's actually pretty far off here. Hopefully that lines up pretty good. You see these are in here just like that. So it should take just a good firm push down. The other side, we have her lined up just like that. When I go and push down, it should slide right in. Like I said, I put oil in the boots, just a little bit of oil, so hopefully it slips right into place. The other thing I'm having a problem with, I have a coolant leak from right here, and I think you can see here, this might have pulled out quite a bit, and I think it's from messing with this. I probably pushed this around too much, and it kind of pulled out here. So I'm gonna have to make sure that this is not leaking, because we don't need a coolant leak on top of everything else. So I don't know, this has to be pushed back in, I guess. If it's come out that far, I don't know how I did that, but apparently I did. Guys, got the back 2 in just fine, pushed them in by hand, but I don't feel particularly strong this evening, so I'm gonna try the ratchet strap method, because I've seen that work for guys, but I'll show you where I run it. We're going to run it right around here. Make sure you're pulling on the carb body, not like the aluminum parts. And it should pop right down in. There we go, everybody. I did put the strap on, and I mean, it's pretty tight, but I didn't stress anything. It's pulled taut. I actually hooked it here because I knew I wasn't going to be using too much stress. So it's on the rear peg on both sides. And then I went up between, let's see here. I used this, kind of slipped off a little bit, but right in between here. And then I just I thought I had it above that and slipped off just to get a little more downward force. So there you can see where that is. That didn't give me everything. I did end up kind of pushing down with my hands a little bit because I didn't want to pull this too hard. Like right now, it's pretty tight. But I did end up doing my last little bit just by hand, pushing down a little bit here. Don't stress this. This will crack. That's probably why this is replaced. But anyway, I gave it just a little bit of extra push and it went pop, and I knew I was there. So everything's in now. I can tighten up the boots. I'm gonna check actually I need to hook up the throttle. The throttle's all good. I need to check that. I need to check the choke and hook up this bar end of it, the new choke, and everything should be good to go. Oh, while I was finishing up and going to put that in, I kind of moved the gas line around and noticed, gas line goes right on there, that it was busted right up in here. So I got to replace this line into the split into both splits. So I'm not going to be running this thing tonight, which won't tell me if my gas leak is fixed. So I guess we'll just have to find out later, but it doesn't hurt to put on new gas line. So I'll run it from here down to under here to the split to this side and to that side, and we'll be good to go, I hope. So I'm going to hook up the choke right now, adjust that, and be done. Okay, if you've ever put a choke cable on a Magna, this is an 82, they may have changed it since. You literally have to take the housing off, screw the housing onto the choke cable itself, then string this into the lever, or lever, I don't know why I'm calling them levers, and then it goes in here, and then the cable runs that way, I'm assuming. I put this all together, I didn't like how it was set up, and I took it all apart and realized that's probably the only way to set it up. Because you pull it this way, choke is up. Says it right on here. Choke is up. So really the only way to do it is to put it in here and let it set where it's set, because you already screwed it into the housing. And then as long as it actuates your choke down in there, it's right down there, as long as that pulls when you put the lever up and you can put it back down, it's good to go. I just don't like where the lever was sitting, so I tried to put it together a different way, and I believe I can't. So that's what I get. I'll put it back together to show you the final product. Here you go. I'll show you what I got. So you can see right on here is where you mount it. Choke, push up. So look at all this free play I have. Now that is not doing anything down here. Obviously it's not moving. You see right there it starts moving. Okay, so it's completely off, no problems. Now what I don't like is this is where it starts. It engages right there, way up here, and then this is completely on. So it's pushed back, completely on. Now, look what happens when I let it go. It doesn't stay where it's supposed to. So if you know anything about this, let me know. I'm gonna have to hold the choke on. Now, Honda Magna probably won't need the choke very often or very long, but That's going to be annoying. I did not lube up the brand new line, and maybe Motion Pro lines, maybe that's too, I don't know. Maybe I should have bought a Honda factory. But I lubed up all these linkages too, so I don't know. There's nothing I can do to keep it in place. As you can see, it goes off. It goes completely on, so should be fine, but I don't know. Maybe it's too new. But it shouldn't be snapping back like that. I'm glad it's working correctly. It's just not staying where I want it. I don't know if I have to... Maybe I'll put something on here that I can keep it on temporarily. I could just put something around the mirror. Keep it up when I want it up. But, yep, that's what I got for choke. I don't know why it's that smooth. Alright, well, that's what we get. Or that's what I've got now. I'm going to put the lid back on here. And, listen guys, obviously I didn't put gas through this because I don't have the new gas lines on. But if I didn't fix that coolant leak on the other side, I used the strap method and I just kind of ratcheted strapped, and hopefully there's probably a seal in there. I'll have to look at the parts diagram, but hopefully that fixed it up pretty good. If I still have a leak, you can guarantee I'm going to take some gasket maker and put it on there. And ow, I just hit the handlebar with my head. If my original leak that was in here, well, I can't really get to it. If that's not fixed, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because all this is going to have to come back out to fix that properly. So I'm hoping I didn't do something wrong. So anyway, that's it for tonight. I tightened up all these clamps. These are the screws we're going to pull out to do a carb sync. I'm probably going to try and run it and see how it runs after I put the gas lines on. Right there to here and the other side of the carb. And yeah, here's another look at the choke. Choke open, choke closed. Choke open, choke closed. So, alright guys, that's it for now. Catch you later. I'll show you what I've done. Bye.